Hello, my art-loving friends. How are you today? I received a gift that I am just dying to open because I opened the bag when I got it at the post office, and then there was this cute little box, and then there was this even cuter stuff inside that I wanted to open with you in person, so let's open it. This says Gardor W. Not really sure how to pronounce it, but that's okay. Unique design palette. This was a gift from one of my Patreon members. Thank you so much. I'm very excited. Magnetized clip. Very strong. And this cute little package. Are you ready for this? Look at this. This is so cute. In we go. I love this. Presentation is important. Don't let them tell you differently. Okay. Work fantastic. That's probably fantastic work, but yeah. Oh wow, this is neat. This feels metal, and look at that. Oh, cool. All right, I bet that's how that works. Oh, I'm so excited to see inside of this. Here we go. Folds out that way. Okay, little magnets right here and here. Folds out this way. Oh my gosh, look, this mixing space. Oh, wow. So this is a square magnet, which means you can clip this on any direction you want. That's nice. So I have a sketchbook right here. It's dirty because it's etcher. Etcher gets dirty. So let's see. If this is here, how would I want this? I would want it like this, I think. I'm not sure, but so we'll put the clip on like that. And like this. Let me zoom out. It stayed. It shook itself shut because I was shaking it, but oh my gosh, that is so cute. Oh, I love this. I'm just tickled pink with this. I have a cute little heart palette too from another Patreon member friend that I still need to put paint in. But since I travel so much and I'm going to Canada for a month, this one is gonna go with me for sure. That is neat. Look at that. That is so cool. So if you've been following my channel for a while, you probably know I do not have a single palette with mixed brands in it. So my goal for this one was to use as many brands as I was comfortable with. And it was a very fun process. I pulled out all of my tube paints and I tried to just be super fast about my decisions. So I have this watercolor database project here that I have been working on where I have tried to swatch all of my paints, except I am way behind, so I have to catch up on that. And something I found really interesting when I was going through these, because I wanted to choose blues, so I pulled out the blues and I was flipping through them. Every brand I would pause on because I loved the way it looked was Mission Gold. I found that really, really interesting. However, I do want to tell you there's a lot of brands not in here yet, including my favorite brand, Core, is not in this database yet, so I really need to get on top of that project. But yes, I would stop and pause. Like some of these would look kind of boring and maybe a little washed out, maybe a little, I don't want to say chalky because they're not chalky, but like faded, not as brilliant. And I'd come up to one and I'd stop and I'd be like, oh, I like that one. And I'd be like, oh, it's another Mission Gold. Are you serious? So I had to push myself to choose brands that were not Mission Gold. So I am going to go ahead and fill this palette with all of the paints you see here, except I have a couple of questions and I need to ask your opinion, even though it'll be too late. I still want to know what you would have done. And then I'll show you all my choices. I don't have all of the colors in swatch cards because like I said, I haven't completed that project yet, but it was fun to see the ones that I have. I was going to choose Transparent Pyrrole Orange from Core for my orange, but I don't have very much left. And I'm on a permanent no-buy, so to speak. Like if I run out of this orange, I want to use all the other oranges I have first before rebuying this. And that made me kind of nervous. So I think I will use the Mission Gold orange. And it's quite a bit different than the transparent pyrrole orange from Core, but it is nice and bright, and I think it's going to work well for me, I hope. I just didn't want to use any more of this yet. I use it a lot in my other palette, and I want to make sure I have it when I need to refill my Core palette. So that one got the boot. And then I really wanted a yellow green in this palette because I use a lot of greens. I have 3 greens here, but I do have a lemon yellow and a Core sap green, and I could mix those two together to get a yellow green because I also really wanted this Mission Gold's Cobalt Green Deep. I'm going to take this palette on the national parks trip I'm going on for a month, and I think this color could be useful in painting some of what I'm going to be seeing, but I'm not sure. So now I need to decide if I'm pulling out the yellow green and putting in the Cobalt Green Deep, or if I am going to set this aside and not use it and put this in. There's probably going to be a lot of brilliant yellow greens where I'm going, but there's also a lot of lake reflections and shadows and stuff, so I have to decide that before I fill this, and I will let you know what I decided, but I am curious what you would do. Which of these two would you choose? I know they're completely different, but I mean, that's kind of the point, is that I could make this one, but I can't make this one very easily. Something kind of fun here is that I have 10 different brands. So I'm just gonna get to filling this. I have my toothpicks here, and I'll show you all these colors. And here is this cute little palette, which I have linked below because you can find it on Amazon, all filled. It's a little challenging when they're in a fixed position like this, but I think it turned out good, and I know they'll dry down some, and I'll be able to clean them up at that point. So pretty. My first square of paint is Daniel Smith's Buff Titanium. This is a PW6:1, and because that palette's still wet, I'm just going to use stuff from the lid here and show you. And I think on this paper, all the paint will probably look a little bit more textured than it really is, because this paper kind of tends to give off a bit of a texture when you paint on it and put your brush over it several times. But there is Buff Titanium. Next we have Mission Gold's Lemon Yellow. It's a PY3. You can see 4-star light fast, that's out of 5, and semi-transparent, semi-staining. I wanted a nice bright yellow because I tend to use them a lot in mixes. Look at that, that's beautiful. Mission Gold does not disappoint. This tape is not as sticky as some other tape, but I wanted to use it because it's a great size, and it was a gift, which I'm grateful for, and I need to use it before the sticky gets even less. This next one was a gift also from a very generous viewer friend. She got me the My Mary Blue Golden Yellow. I haven't gotten to play with my Mary Blue paints as much as I would like to have, so I really wanted to get this in the mix and use that as kind of my deep yellow. That's pretty. This is 3-star out of 3 light fast rating, and it's a PY183. And there wasn't very much paint in the lid there, so I'm not getting a great representation of the mass tone here, but I'll try and deepen that. It'll be much easier once the pans I poured are all dry. I'm going to actually wet this a little bit first. This is Mission Gold's Orange. It's a mixture of 2 pigments, PO73 and PY65. Look how pretty. Oh my goodness. Pretty and vibrant, moves in water. Gorgeous. Nice bright orange for when I need it. Oh, had some more paint on the brush down there. Next up is Mission Gold again. It's a Van Dyke Brown. It's a PBR7 with 5-star light fast rating, semi-transparent, non-staining, and it's very liquidy. So I don't know if this is binder or if the paint's this thin. I guess we'll find out when we put it on here. Okay, it looks like it's mostly binder separation. So hopefully the paint that I poured into my palette will be okay. We'll have to see when it dries because I couldn't tell. It's such a dark color that I wasn't able to tell if it was binder separation or just really thin paint. I did stir it up with the toothpick, so hopefully it'll dry okay. but nice, beautiful dark brown normally. Next up is Imgram's Transparent Red Iron Oxide. This is a PR 101 with a 1-star light fast rating. This was a gift also from a viewer friend. Let's see if there's enough in the lid here. Oh yeah. Oh, what a good choice, huh? What a good choice. Beautiful. No regrets on that choice. Next we have Michael Harding's Moss Green. This has 3 pigments in it, and the lid is quite hard to open. It is PY150, PB29, and PR209. Even with all those pigments, it's just perfect for landscapes. The problem that I'm wondering if I'll have with it is that it's granulating, and I think I would prefer it non-granulating. However, granulating will work okay in landscapes. I don't know. It crossed my mind that I might prefer it non-granulating, but we'll see. I think it's a beautiful color, and I really wanted it in the palette. Next up, we have Core's Sap Green. This is PG36, PR101, and PY150. Light fast rating of 1. I love Core's Sap Green, plus I have a ton of it in tubes, so using a bunch up is a good idea. But look at that color. It's beautiful. It's a little bit brighter than Daniel Smith's Sap Green, which I think out of Sap Greens, Daniel Smith's is my favorite. And I did have that in a tube. This one is my second favorite so far. So I decided since I had so much of it, I would use it. And look at it, it's a beautiful color. And I love having bright greens in my palette, which is why I was debating on that yellow green of Mission Gold, which I did kick to the curb in favor of the Cobalt Green Deep, because I can mix this yellow green with any of these yellows and this color, probably this yellow and this color. Next up is My Mary Blue's Payne's Gray, 3-star light fast rating, semi-transparent. This is Synthetic Indigo Vat Blue 1. And again, these are really sharp lids, and they're hard to get off, so I did use pliers several times, but since they were just off a few seconds ago, they're coming off okay. Oh shoot, I still had way too much sap green on my brush to do that. This little swatch might be slightly tinted with sap green. This is a beautiful Payne's Gray. It has just enough blue in it to make me happy, and enough blue that you could use it as an indigo substitute too if you wanted. It would be a deep indigo, but I love deep indigos. Absolutely gorgeous. Next we have Holbein's Cobalt Blue Hue. I knew I wanted a cobalt in the palette, and I chose it over ultramarine. We'll see if I regret that or not. I'm trying to find the pigment information. It's PB29 and PB15. So I guess it has a little ultramarine in it. Maybe I'll be all right. Just a hue, but I liked it when I was looking through all my swatches. Thought it'd be great for the bright blue skies and stuff that I'll see on my trip. You can see how easily this tape comes up, so you do need to be aware of that. So again, because I'm trying to use it out of the lid, I'm not getting a huge mass tone, but here, let's grab some from the top of the tube. Just real pretty. They definitely calmed that PB15 down with the PB29. Next, we have Da Vinci's Cobalt Turquoise. I was looking at a couple of other turquoises, but since I had such a large tube of this is what I chose to do. However, look at the size of the opening on the tube. Like, here's my pinky. So it was a little hard to fill up that slot in the palette. A little bit difficult, but I think I managed okay. This is a PB36. And I thought it would be perfect for water. I assume we're going to see a lot of water. We may not be seeing this color of water because this is more like Caribbean water, but I wanted it in there because I could use this palette for more than just this trip. I assume that paint is going to last a long time. It held a lot of paint, that palette did. So I will link that palette below. It is available on Amazon. Next we have another Mission Gold. I have a lot of these in here, but that's okay. Cobalt Green Deep. PB36, 5-star light fast rating. It's opaque and non-staining. Yeah, I think I'm going to be glad I have this color in there. I hope. We'll see if I use it. We'll see if I even paint on the trip. We might be busy. I will. I'll paint. I don't think I could survive without painting that long. All right. We have a bit of a glare on that. Can't get away from the glare. There we go. Next, we have Shinhan PWC's Permanent Violet. Light fastness 2, so not perfect. Series D though, so that's expensive apparently. And the pigment is PV3. I have set up a complete Shinhan palette, but I do have someone sending me an additional color or two. I can't quite remember if it's 1 or 2 colors, so I kind of wanted to wait till I got that color from her to show the palette. You can see how beautiful this color is. It can be deep like a black and can come out into a really nice purple. And I like having purples in my palettes because I often paint little flowers here and there, and having a purple is important to me. And this time I went with a more blue leaning purple than a pink leaning purple because that's what I wanted. Next we have Rosa Gallery's Magenta Gray. This is one of my new colors. I'll link the Rosa Gallery palette setup video up in the corner for you. And there's just something about this color that I'm drawn to. I have no idea if I'll use it. It's one of their granulating ones, PR122 and PG17. It's semi-opaque and just gorgeous. Show you what that looks like. So that's pretty light. I had a lot of water on the brush, so let me get you a little bit more mass tone there. It's just a nice soft gray leaning purple red. And I love it. Here's what the swatch looks like for my watercolor database. So a little bit different than it looks like on this paper. This is Arches. This is the Caddy Fat Book paper. Yeah, it looks much more red, but we'll see when it dries. I don't have very many Michael Harding paints, but I do have 5, and one of them is this Quin Rose, and I wanted it in here. It looked like a beautiful color. It's a PV19. Looks like I have enough out here on the edge of the tube I can use for like a dot card. Look at that. Oh, beautiful. I really have to have a rose in my palette because it's so useful for so many mixes. And then if you have any flowers that you're painting, it's just perfect for that. And Michael Harding paint is extremely pigmented and vivid, so it doesn't take very much to get a nice deep color. Last for this palette is one of my new paints I showed in a previous art haul, M. Graham's Pyrrole Red. And I bought this because it's my favorite pigment, PR254, my favorite red pigment, I should say. And let's see what this looks like. Are you ready for this? This is going to be beautiful. Oh, wow. Oh, I dropped red in the cobalt turquoise or whatever that color is. Cobalt green deep, I think. That's okay. Look how intense and wonderful this is. And I have a month and a half before I leave for my trip, so I have plenty of time for this palette to dry out. That's why I'm not worried about all these different brands, and I'm not worried about the brands that contain honey in them. I'm pretty sure it'll be okay. And here's a closer look at them all dry and labeled. We'll start at the top here. Nice slow pan. I guess the only one that's not dry is that Van Dyke Brown because the massive amount of binder it had on the top before I realized it. I should have stirred that with a toothpick, but didn't know what it was at first. Very pretty. Cute little palette I think it's going to be. All right, this is the new little travel palette set up in a nutshell. What do you think of these colors? Would you have done anything differently? I would love to know in the comments below. So as I use this, maybe I'll use it even before my trip, who knows? I will let you know how it goes and keep you updated for sure. Well, I had an absolute blast and I hope you enjoyed this as well. If so, hit the like button. It helps out my channel. Consider subscribing if you're new. It's free and we do a lot of fun watercolor stuff here. All right, guys, thank you so much. I will see you in the next video. Bye for now. Hello. Oh, I am recording. I was like, wait, I stopped. Making a mess. Just making a mess.
Look at the rock. It's like a perfect ball shape.
It's a lot of dogs.
Duffy's gone.
Lily's dogs. Ready, Blanca? What do you think, Jack?
feel like that's a pretty good take, but
Don't run, Waka.
it probably.
Duffy! Good boy! Good boy, good boy! Oh, waylaid. Duffy! What do you think, Jack?